Ashura, do I smell burning weed in here? Are you like taking out the trash or what? What's going on?
Are you asking me if you smell like it, or if it smells like it in here?
No, someone is burning something in here.
I should have sat closer to the window.
What?
No. I don't smell anything. Could be your imagination. Wait, what's over there?
What? I'm not falling for that one again.
No, seriously.
Oh, sorry about that smell, guys. That might be me.
Oh,
People make comments about that all the time. It is what it is. I can only do so much about it.
yeah, okay. Welcome.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
I'm Ephraim.
And I wasn't being serious when I said look over there, but hey, look over there.
Oh, hi.
I'm Ashura.
Well, I am Chuck. Chuck Missile. Just call me Chuck.
Pleasure to have you poof in, Chuck? How exactly did you poof in? That was quite elaborate poofing.
Well, let's see. The last thing I remember is there was this really scary looking fellow, and I was trying to get him to kind of calm down, but then he looked at me and he made this gosh, man, I got to tell you, I was scared for my life. I just turned around and ran away, and before you knew it, I was just here. I really have no idea how I got here. I don't know where I am. Gosh, I sure hope I didn't leave any of my friends there to die. We were kind of doing something important.
Don't worry, time works different here, so you might even be stuck in time. Who knows?
We're a very confusing setup, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that wouldn't be any good. I mean, I gotta find out when the Packers win another Super Bowl. Like I can't go the rest of my life without knowing that. I mean, that's important to me.
Oh, then we'll make sure to get you back as soon as you share a bit of your story and maybe tell us where you're from.
It's gonna take us a bit of time in order to find a location anyway, so.
Oh, well, that's wonderful, guys. Thank you so much. I mean, I tell you, I live in Wisconsin, but I'm from Alabama originally. But I don't really claim Alabama. I'm a Wisconsinite now. Transplant though I be. Just kind of live up there in the Green Bay area. I'm what the fancy people call simple folk. I work at the bowling alley, and I just was kind of, living my life up until a couple weeks ago, and then, then stuff kind of hit the fan. So now I'm not even sure if I live in Wisconsin anymore.
So that's why it's important for you to find out who's winning the Super Bowl because you work in the bowling alley.
My question is, why is there Bay Green?
Well, that's a question only God knows the answer to. And heck, I don't even really believe in a God, but if there's a God, I think if I ever met him, I'd want to know why they call it Green Bay, because it looks like water to me. I mean,
Okay. Well, I wouldn't talk too loudly about not believing in gods because that's a good way to get struck by lightning.
oh, right, you are, buddy. Hey, I definitely go to church every Sunday. Just.
Of course. So do I. Every Sunday.
Hey, did you say God's plural?
Do you even know what church is, Ephraim?
Uh, I don't even know what a Sunday is.
Well, I mean, Sunday's the most important day of the week.
Is it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's the layman's Saturday. It's
I consider myself a bit of a layman. I lay all the time.
well, I'm gonna steal that one for sure. But anywho, you wanted to know what my story is. Well, it's real simple, really. I was just out with some buddies of mine trying to catch some weirdo who was up to no good. We were like up by Boston, I think. At least I think we were up by Boston. Every other house had either a Patriots flag or a Red Sox flag hanging on the door. I mean, personally, I can't stand them, but it tells you where you are in the world at least. So, must have been up there somewhere. Anyhow, there was this crazy, crazy fellow. I mean, scariest son of a gun you ever did see. I mean, his eyes were all like black, and there were these weird veins, like something had eaten his soul. I mean, I wanted to get an exorcist there immediately. He'd already killed one fellow, and he was holding this other lady by the throat with a knife in her house. I mean, I just kind of broke it in and started killing for no reason. So I tried to go stop him. I just tried to calm him down, because sometimes when I ask people to calm down, it's like they just magically calm down. And then other times I just have to like put your knuckles up and fight them, And sometimes, you guys might think I'm crazy, but sometimes I feel like the more hallucinogenics I'm on at that exact moment, the more powerful I am at fighting. I can fight more stuff and whatnot, but I gotta tell you guys, I have never been so scared of something. The way he looked at me without looking at me with those cold, dead eyes. I mean, it was like he was staring through my soul, but not just through my soul, into my soul, like deep, deep into my soul. And I was just scared. That's why I ran. Like, I just ran as far as I could.
Yeah, it sounds scary.
Oh, it was terrifying.
Wait, you're on hallucinogenics?
Yeah, don't ask me what I'm on. Everybody always wants to ask where I got my stuff, and I'm telling you, it's just that my friend Dr. Burke, he prepares these concoctions for me based on whatever available. I think most of it's based on mushrooms, but there's some other strange chemicals in there or something. I don't really get a choice anymore. Because it used to be you just go to the guy around back of the bowling alley and he'd have something that would get the job done. But ever since I ended up with the agency, I've had all these people wanting to poke me with needles, and I hate needles. I don't touch anything that has to do with needles. But they just wanted to know everything about me. It was a nightmare. But then this guy showed up. He said, "Hey, just have, try some of this." And that seemed to work, and it gets the job done. But I have no idea what's in it, but I see things that aren't there sometimes. But I don't know. They tell me it helps with my magical abilities, and I always thought magic wasn't real. Like I never even believed in magic. Like Harry Potter's a book, but it's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah, it really sounds crazy. You said your world was named Wisconsin?
Yeah, it's greatest state in the lower 48. You know what they say? I mean, just a wonderful, wonderful place. It gets a little cold in the wintertime, but it's nothing you can't handle. You love the hunting, you love the fishing, you love the life up there, and everyone's very, very nice. Plus, it doesn't hurt if you like beer and cheese either. It's a great, great place to live.
That sounds good. So, have you done any adventuring in Wisconsin?
No, Wisconsin. Oh goodness! I mean, I've had all kinds of adventures in Wisconsin. There was one time me and my buddy David was out hunting in the middle of the woods, and we thought we were seeing a big buck out there. It's just a big tin horn, but it turned out it was just a big bear with some sticks on his head or something. And I mean, man, it scared the bejesus out of us because like I don't think I can take down a bear. Like if he sniffs us out, we might be in trouble. But luckily, yeah, he left us alone, which is fortunate because I have no idea what I would have done otherwise. And to this day, me and David, we're lucky to be alive. So that's an adventure. And then there was another time, I was trying to go ice fishing. We were way out on the icy lake and whatnot, and then all of a sudden my truck wouldn't stop. We were out there, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't think I can get back to land all by myself. Luckily, David's truck, his truck started, so we were all good there. He was able to give me a jump. So I've had a few adventures in Wisconsin, but man, the real adventure started when I bumped into this task force thing. Man, they call themselves Zeta 66. That's what they call it. Zeta 66. I can never.
Zeta 66.
It's some strange letter that I can never remember how to pronounce. But
Huh.
anyway, they get up to some real adventures, man. I mean, all the scary stuff going on in Massachusetts, and then there were these gigantic, crazy chicken creatures, but like they weren't chickens exactly. They were all like a skinless, walking, vomiting everywhere. Gosh, it was the most horrible thing you ever seen.
Yeah.
And those poor kids, man.
Chicken without skin sounds kind of sad. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
What about the kids?
Oh gosh, that creature was just doing horrible, horrible things. This was the first time I even met that task force group, I mean, I was just up there walking around, minding my own business, and they bumped into me. And, they seemed really, really friendly. There was this guy who was like a fox, and there was this girl who was like, you could see through her or something. She was kind of like floating around like a ghost. Guys, I got to tell you, that group of people did seem really, really friendly. There were a couple people in nice suits and weird get-up and all that, but on the whole, they seemed like a decent group of people to get instructions on how to get home from, but turns out they were there just to help deal with these chickens and try to save some people. And I thought I'd tag along just to see what it was all about. And they were like, are you sure you want to do this? This is kind of dangerous. And I'm like, well, everybody else around here is speaking Irish.
So you're originally from Wyoming. What were you doing in Ireland?
Oh, I gotta tell you, first of all, I'm not really from Wyoming. I'm from Wisconsin.
Oh, my apologies.
But no, it's all right. It's an understandable mistake. Wyoming's a beautiful place, but Ireland. So I gotta be honest with you. I have no idea how I ended up in Ireland. All I remember is that I was, I had some very strange, something that I can't say for legal purposes. And when I woke up, I was in a very strange room. It wasn't a jail cell and it wasn't a hospital. I've been in jail cells and I've been in hospitals, and it wasn't either one of those. But it was a little bit like a lab of some kind. And I'm not a scientist. I don't know what it looks like. But in my head, I have an idea of what a lab looks like. And this kind of looked like that. So I just woke up in this strange lab, and there were a bunch of people, and they were not very nice at all. I mean, I gotta tell you, they were poking me full of all kinds of needles and pulling my blood out. I mean, come on, get your hands off my blood. I want that stuff, it's important for me. I don't know what it does, but I know it's important for me. Anyhow, they started giving me a bunch of different things to try, stuff that tasted terrible, stuff that made my head feel really bad. And eventually I started, yelling at them to let me go. Like, clearly these guys don't respect my personal space as a human. They're trying to get something out of me, and I don't know what it is. But, man, I just wish they'd stop it. And then eventually they gave me something that made me start seeing things that were, dangerous and, all around me. And I don't think they were actually there, because that's usually how this works. But what I did see when I was having this experience was I saw a swirling magic portal on the other side of the room. So I ran to it as fast as I could, and then all of a sudden I was just running along a road in the middle of a forest, and I had no idea where I was. Apparently, I was somewhere near a place called Dublin, and I had never heard of Dublin in my life. So I just walked to the nearest town, and I luckily found one, and that's where I found the task force. And they were the nice people, all right? They always ask for permission before they start to take my blood and give me something, and they always ask questions. Like, you can tell they really respect me as a person, and that's important to me. That's why I like this task force that I got, the Zeta 66 guys. They're really, really nice to me.
But they still wanted your blood.
Well, yeah, but they asked nicely, and they said they only wanted a little, and it's just like a finger prick when you go to the doctor's office. You don't want to do it, but sometimes it's necessary. And I'm like, okay, you guys have been really nice to me. You can have a little bit.
Yeah, so this task force, they're like vampires?
I mean, hey, I sure hope they're not vampires, because then I'm going to be complicit in some really dangerous stuff that's going on. But no, I don't think they're vampires. I mean, don't vampires usually use their teeth in the movies? Like, they always like biting you and then sucking your blood out, right? But they're just
Yeah, but
kind of doing a finger prick. They seem like doctors or something,
they could be tricky vampires.
Oh my gosh! Oh no! You might be right. I gotta figure out if I'm being held hostage by vampires.
Yeah,
That's horrible, guys. I gotta figure that out when I get out of here. I gotta figure out if
absolutely.
it's vampires. Guys, thank you so much.
No worries, we're here. We're looking out for you.
Thank you very much, AFM.
Those vampires are tricky.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like I never even thought of that. They've just been doing such a good job hiding it. But now that you mention it,
That's what a vampire would do. Yeah.
it's almost every day they're taking a finger prick, and that's only a little bit of blood every day. But over time, that blood's going to add up, and oh my gosh, they're going to figure out a way to turn me into a vampire. This is a disaster. I got to figure something out. How can I do that? Like, how do I make sure that they're not vampires?
Well, first of all, remember to remember this dream when you wake up, so you don't forget it. That's the important part. After that, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's a really good first step. Okay, I'll remember the dream when I wake up.
Yeah, maybe write it down. People tend to remember things a bit better after they've written it down.
That's a good idea, huh? I might have a Sharpie. I have a Sharpie sometimes because when you work at a bowling alley, sometimes you need to use a Sharpie. Okay, I don't think I have one, but I'll remember it.
Perfect.
I'll make sure to remember to check if they're vampires.
So, have these vampires done any good for the world?
Well, that's a really good question. Have we done any good for the world? I mean, I think the one thing that I can think of is there was this little kid when I was in Ireland, and there was this giant evil chicken guy about to vomit acid all over him. And then I just watched a guy on my team who was a fox. He ran over there and he jumped on the chicken and he distracted it. And then that chicken turned around and spat a ton of like vomit and acid all over him, and he almost died. But the kid got away. I think if there's one thing that you can say for sure that we can all agree on is doing good for the world, it's making sure that little kids don't get eaten by giant acid vomiting chickens.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
I'm really happy that we were able to do that as a team. And luckily, my friend, his name is Oliver. He turned out to be okay. I really thought he was dead there for a minute, but he's fine. He's alive and healthy once again. Although he had to spend some time healing after that. That was pretty intense.
I can imagine.
And then other stuff. I mean, gosh, right now, I mean, nobody ever tells me the big picture, and that's fine. I let them do the thinking. They're way smarter than me. I'm just here to try to calm things down. But this most recent little adventure that we've been on, I mean, there have been some really, really scary things I'm hearing on the local radio about people breaking into houses and just doing horrible things. I mean, just eating random strangers and tearing them to pieces. And I'm like, gosh, I gotta stop this. Like I have no idea what to do. I think we've been doing some good for the world. And honestly, guys, there's a part of me that wonders, like what even is really good for the world, Because you look on the news and you see, well, some people saying that this is good for the world, and like, okay, well, that doesn't sound too bad. And then you say someone else say, well, this other thing's good for the world. I'm like, hey, you know what? This guy's making some good points. And then you listen to the radio, you hear all these weird things going on. You're just like, I don't really know what life is. So I just try to focus on the simple things, like go to work, I like my job. I love working at the bowling alley because it's simple. It's something I know I can do well. And people can depend on me to do that well, and I like that. I think that's a good thing. And, well, I like my friends. I have a couple really good buddies up in Wisconsin. But honestly, I really have enjoyed getting to know the task force guys. They're a little on the weird side, but they've been getting me to start thinking that, maybe there is something out there that's worth not just like fighting for, but living for, dying for, that kind of thing. Like I know I sound like a movie character here, but I'm serious. I mean, it's like I haven't thought about this in years. What if there's something out there that's so important that we should all be dedicating ourselves to it, like keeping people safe from bad guys, or fighting evil chicken monsters, or things like that. I mean, if that really is the good thing to do, then I want to be doing it.
Do you think the world would be a better place if more people fought giant chicken monsters?
Or at least to try to defend children from them.
Yeah, I mean, those chicken monsters were terrible, and I think if everybody just agree, take them out on sight as soon as you see them, we get rid of them in a real hurry, and then I think the world would be a bit of a happier place after that, because we wouldn't have to worry, if we're walking home alone at night in Ireland, that you're gonna get, acid vomited all over you by a chicken monster, and I think that would be a beautiful thing for humanity.
You might also have to fight the animal rights groups because they like to protect species like that.
I'll tell you what, those animal rights people always tell me that I shouldn't eat, like a cheeseburger or bacon or whatever. They say it's like cruel and it's inhumane. But then I always ask them, like, well, what am I supposed to have with my eggs if I can't have bacon or sausage? And they're like, well, just have, something else, have a vegetable. And I'm like, guys, if I wanted a vegetable, I would eat vegetables. But gosh, I don't want my vegetables, man. Like, Mom always said, eat your vegetables, you'll grow up big and strong. Well, guess what? I ate my vegetables, and I'm still weaker than, a candle in a hailstorm. I ain't got a chance,
What if the vegetables were what led to your psychedelic powers?
Oh my gosh. I never thought of that, but I mean, no, hold on. That can't be, because my brother Duck, I mean, he always ate his vegetables way faster than I did. He actually liked his vegetables, the little nerd, and, well, he didn't have any powers, at least not that I know of, so.
Well, he was trying too hard.
Not sure. I mean, he always did try so hard. I'm gotta be honest, I miss him, man.
Your brother was named Duck?
Yeah, my brother was named Duck. I'm named Shuck. My parents had a real rhyming thing going.
Yeah, I noticed.
It's a good thing they only had 2 kids, otherwise they would have gotten to the letter F eventually, but anyhow.
Yeah, well, they would run out of letters, maybe.
Well, the thing is, right, I mean, Duck was worth all the letters all on his own. He was always special growing up, and he was always smarter than everybody else in his class, and he was always more creative. Like, he would always think of things before I could think of things, and, my parents would, they wouldn't say, why can't you be more like Duck? But I could tell they were thinking, why couldn't I be more like Duck? And then he went off to college, and then I tried to go to college too, but, I could never pay attention. I could never learn anything. I could never pass any classes. And then eventually I just gave up and moved up here to Wisconsin, and I think that was better for me, Right? Not worrying about the pressure, not worrying about comparing myself to somebody else.
That sounds good. What happened to Duck?
You know, he joined this task force too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, that's the thing. So Duck was fighting some monsters, and you know it wasn't going very well. And what the team told me is that the only way to defeat the monster, you know, Duck had to sacrifice himself. And gosh, I mean, there's a part of me that still can't believe it. Like, surely you could have done something. You guys are the best people in the world at dealing with this. Guys, there's got to be a way to save him. But you know, I mean, you know,
How did he sacrifice himself?
If you're okay with sharing.
no, it's okay. It's okay. So there was this thing, all right? The task force had it like locked in jail. It was this fellow called the Old Man, and I don't know what was so special about this guy, but he got out and he started just destroying everything in the facility. And, you know, they couldn't figure out how to slow him down. And so somebody tried to summon another monster to help kill this monster, right? To kill this old guy. But the problem, well, the way it was explained to me is that when they summoned the monster, Duck was busy distracting the old man, trying to get everybody else to the point where they could, you know, make a plan and get out safely. And so when they summoned the monster, Duck was in between the two of them. If they had tried to save Duck, then both of the monsters would have gotten away. That's what they said. But, like, guys, come on. Like, I mean, it can't have been that hard to, like, just wait an extra second. Or put the monster on the other side of the monster so Duck can run the other direction. Right, but they had this magical, like, shipping container, they told me, where they held all three of them in there, and, well, if they opened it up to let Duck out, then the monsters would have gotten out. So they had to leave him in there with the monsters, and to be honest, I don't understand why they couldn't have done more for Duck. I mean, and that's what I'm worried about, is I took his place, kinda. Like, are they gonna do this to me? Like, are they gonna leave me to die? If I'm stuck somewhere that they can't reach, should they just give up? Because that's the thing about that you learned working in the bowling alley that I never learned anywhere else. Sometimes your team is down by a lot of points going into the last round. But no matter what, you always try to bowl a strike because there's always a chance you can come back and win.
Yeah.
Because in bowling, you can score a lot of points really fast. I don't really know how the scoring in bowling works. You'd think I would. I work at a bowling alley, right?
Maybe no one knows.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's another question for God, but
How do you Super Bowl?
a Super Bowl? Oh, the Super Bowl is a different thing entirely. But
Oh.
the point is, like, it makes me a little bit nervous to work with them because I'm just not sure if they have my back, you know? And I know that my friends at home in Wisconsin always had my back. I think that's what I miss most about it.
Yeah.
You always want to make sure you have teammates that will have your back.
Yeah, exactly. You see, you get it, man.
Are you and these Zetas doing anything important, or do you feel like you can leave them?
Well, they just said that they're going around and getting basically terroristic threats, such as ass-spitting chickens.
Yeah, but I mean,
But actually important.
sure, we just talked about everyone should hunt chicken that spits acid. But do you have to hunt chicken that spits acid with the Zeta 66?
With possible vampires.
Well, that's the thing is, I just don't know where else I would go because if I go back to Wisconsin, then what if the other guys come back? You know, the first guys that found me, what if they come back and what if they, like, really, really hurt me this time or kill me? You know, I don't want to die. And the thing is, if I die here, then at least I'm going to die fighting for something. Oh gosh, look at me going sounding like a hero. I sound like Duck. Gosh, these guys are having an effect on me. I can just feel it. But the point is, I don't feel safe here, but I wouldn't feel safe back home either. So I might as well help out, you know?
You have the opportunity, why not? Just take it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's kind of what I was thinking is, you know. So somebody said something to me the other day about the crossroads of destiny is what they said it was, and that sounded real corny, but they said that's what I was doing right now, and basically it meant like you get to decide where you want to go from now on. That's kind of scary, but it's also kind of exciting, and you know, what if I get to finally be somebody awesome? You know, what if I finally get to do something that was, no, The kind of thing that would have made my parents say, "Why can't you be more like Chuck?" You know, what if I could finally do that?
I like to think, or at least I would like to hope, that your parents would be happy with how you turned out either way.
And that's really really nice of you to say. I really appreciate that. No one's really said that.
You've got your own place, you've got your own job, you're self-sufficient. There's nothing to not be proud of.
Apart from hunting chickens, have you done anything else with the group?
Well, we hunted chickens, and then we came to Massachusetts to start hunting these things, and so we explored a really big network of tunnels one time recently. We were trying to look for some people that had gone missing. I think somebody gave me a notebook to write down what happened, but all that I really remember, right, is that how when we were walking around there, everything just felt so weird, and we went into these tunnels and we went right and we went left and then we took the middle fork. Then we just kind of ended up where we are here on the other side of the mountain. I guess that's the only real adventure I've been on with the group. I haven't been with them that long, to be honest with you.
Walking through a tunnel?
Well, yeah, we walked through the tunnel, and then on the other side, we had to deal with this big, terrible monster. There was this woman, and the monster was going into her house and trying to kill her. Actually, I told you about Oliver. Oliver ran in there and started to fight it. And I told you about like Tessa. Tessa actually managed to like help get the woman out of there. And my team did a really good job there. And I was able to get this crazy monster guy to calm down, right? And here's the cool thing. This is kind of like the big moment that I had then, right? There was this big monster. And like I'm thinking, okay, we're in Massachusetts, right? We're like kind of near Boston, so I know that he is probably a big fan of that song "Sweet Caroline." Like "Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum." So I said "Sweet Caroline," and then I just kind of waited for him to say "bum bum bum," and he said "bum bum bum." He had a terrible voice because he was like a monster and stuff. But then he froze for a second, and because he froze, we were able to tie him up and put him in a cage. Oliver said that I'd done a good job, and all I did was sing. He was the one actually fighting it with like his swords and whatnot. Oliver's cool. But yeah, that's the big adventure that we've had so far, and then we kind of went straight from that to trying to stop all these other monsters that are in the area, because apparently, they just came from the mountain. Because it's all around this little mountain up in Massachusetts. And yeah, like the whole county's been, under attack by these monsters, and so we kind of had to split up and fight them separately. And well, I ran away from mine, so hopefully the backup that I had was able to stop them. But yeah, that's the big adventure I've had.
Okay. Well, I hope you were good at running.
Have you enjoyed your adventures so far?
Well, gosh, I mean, it's been really, really scary, but I've gotten to get to know the folks a little bit more, and I'm hoping that I can trust them eventually. And I think maybe if I get to know them a little bit more, and I start to work with them, kind of like you get to trust a coworker over time, that you don't trust them right away, but I'm kind of like the new guy around here, so I'm building up a rapport with these guys, so I can maybe trust them in the future. But mainly, I just I've been scared. It's been I don't really love going into tunnels and long dark spaces. And that those monsters, man, they just are something out of your nightmares.
What sort of nightmares?
It's like the kind where there's faces that are not quite human, like the skin is in all the wrong places on their faces, and they got weird bulges and stitches and scars all over the place. Oh, it's the worst. I get chills thinking about it. And their bodies are all bent out of shape. It's like a truck that gets in a car crash with an 18-wheeler. Like you can tell that was a truck at one point, but come on, like it's not gonna drive straight anymore. It's like if that person was a fishing line, that fishing line is tangled all around the pole. It's just the wrong shape for a human. I mean, these are monsters of some kind.
I guess.
Which is the scariest monster you've come across?
Gosh, I think it had to be the one that I ran away from because, just those eyes, the way they, was staring straight through me. Something about it, that's creepier than a weird face. He had almost a normal face. Aside from the eyes, and I think that's scarier when it looks almost like somebody normal, but it's just a little bit out of touch, out of shape, when the eyes are just not human anymore. I mean, man, it gets scary.
What about my eyes and Ashura's eyes? They're a bit more dragon.
Well, yeah, but you guys are dragons, you know? Like,
Yeah, but are they scary?
uh, honestly, your eyes are honestly pretty nice, you know? I don't think those are. Well, you guys have nice eyes.
Thank you. You also have nice eyes.
I kind of like the way your eyes are like shining a little bit too. I don't think human eyes ever really shine this way unless they're in the perfect sunlight. I mean, we're not really in the sun here, but your eyes are just sparkling, you know? I think that's really beautiful. So,
Oh, thank you. That sounds good. So, what is the Super Bowl?
oh yeah, I guess you guys probably might not have TV signal up here. So basically, I mean, the Super Bowl is the biggest day of the year. It's a national holiday. And basically, you have the two best football teams in the country for that whole year. I mean, they play against each other, and it's awesome. You know, there's always a big party, always plenty of beer. You know, you have a good time. You see who wins. You can place some bets on what's going to happen. Wait, hold on a minute. You guys know what football is, right?
I know what a foot and what a ball is.
I do know what football is. This one, on the other hand, needs some explaining.
Okay, so basically, you got 11 people on each side. It's a contest to see who can get a ball to the other side of the field first. And basically, you're just trying to move that any way you can. You can throw it, you can run it, and that's kind of it. But basically, you're just trying to get the ball from one side of the field to the other, and the other team's trying to stop you.
Are you allowed to eat the other players?
Well, gosh, I mean, nobody's ever tried it, but I don't think there's a rule against it.
I could be a football player.
I'll tell you what, yeah, maybe the Packers could sign you to play linebacker, you know?
Honestly, I think you would fall asleep on the field.
That is very likely.
Hey, you know what? It can't be any worse than what we got out there right now, you know? I mean, they're falling asleep already. I'm gonna be honest. Our defense is not very good this year. I'm gonna be straight with you. Oh, yeah, you don't know what that means. Basically, we're really, really bad at stopping the other team from getting the football to the goal.
Ah.
You know, so we really need all the help we can get.
If you can get some dragons on your team and just eat their team, then it should be easy to get the ball. And you'll win the entire Super Bowl.
Gosh, man, I would love to see that happen. I'll tell you what.
You'll rule the Super Bowl with an iron fist.
Oh, you totally will. And I'll tell you what. If you guys ever stop by Wisconsin, if I'm back home, I'll introduce you to some people, and then those people will introduce you to other people, and then those people might even get you introduced to the football people, and then you might be able to, you know, start playing football, you know, and that would be awesome.
Well, to be fair, Wisconsin seems like a scary realm.
I mean,
I could have sworn you just said Skyrim realm.
Sounds like a Skyrim realm. Fusruda.
gosh, I've never heard of what's Skyrim.
Anyway.
But no, I think we'd love to. I think we'd love to meet up with you at some point.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Beer, party, and betting. That sounds like fun.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to fit inside a standard apartment, though.
Well, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. I'll tell you what, guys, it's been a real pleasure getting to talk with you guys. I do think the hallucinogenics might be starting to wear off a little bit. You know, things aren't swirling around quite as much as they sometimes do. So I should probably get back to, like, Massachusetts. I don't know if you guys have, like, a quick way to do that.
I did find your place just a moment ago, so I'll go ahead and send you back.
Oh, well, that would be fantastic.
But we'd love to have you again sometime.
Oh, gosh, thank you guys so much. I mean, AFM, sure, you guys have just been fantastic. Y'all are delightful people. Sorry, delightful dragons. Delightful dragons, you really are.
Yeah, you too.
And if you ever want to stop by, let me know.
That sounds good. Well, good luck with your vampires and Super Bowling.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll remember to check out if my team is vampires after we save the world.
All right. Until we see you again, have a good awakening.